Stories of a Death Collector, Stories of the Other Side, Episode 3, The Spirit on the Riverbank. Before allowing me to embark with Lugarno to our so-called working environment, there is one last warning from the superiors. Ariana, what will be entrusted to you and Lugarno is very complex. You guys will be like Adam and Eve in paradise, and you will see something that can be compared to a Garden of Eden with many trees bearing fruit. But all of that is forbidden for you at this stage, so do not touch or try anything, as you will compromise it for both of you. Which means you are on probation, Ariana. One misstep and you will be sent to scrub long drops in Patmaskaka. Understand? Yes, I understand. Good. Now you may leave for your headquarters. Thank you so much for meeting up with us again, and may we add cautiously, welcome here in the working environment of the other side. Thank you. Beauty before age. Lugarno shows the way, and soon we find ourselves in a very large, somewhat more formal space. Our office and return to place. And this is our network machine. Lugarno holds out his hand. At first I see nothing. Then it starts as a small glowing. And in front of my eyes it starts growing. It grows and grows and grows in something like a giant polystyrene ball, getting bigger and bigger until it reaches the size of more or less the moon. It composes of 1,000,000 of tiny balls as it starts to roll in front of my eyes. Each little ball in the big one has at least 1,007 little live channels with things moving on screens upon it. You can see humans and living beings like cats and dogs and cars and much more. This is called a biblio-audio-visi-intuitive center ball, says Lugarno. Your keyboard is connected to it. Your motherboard is somewhere in there. This thing may look big, but on the scale of the universe, it's smaller than a marble. Luckily, we are not the only death collectors from this side. The others use similar networks, as well as the guardian angels that watches over the souls entrusted to them. Lugarno, I'm so overwhelmed. Understandable, Ariana. There is still a lot that I also don't understand. Think of what is revealed to us as the tip of the iceberg, with the rest of it hidden under the water. As time goes on, more things may be revealed to you and me for that matter. But in the meantime, sign in only with the buttons assigned to us. And if you want to write something, please do it on your own laptop. Lugarno smiles. Thank you. I'm kind of starting to look forward to be working with you. When do we start? I'm excited. Well, we can start right away. But it is not always that easy. We don't necessarily have 100% retrieve rate. Sometimes souls are stuck down there. As in ghosts? So what do we do with those? We leave a reminder on our bibelo eye, this thing in front of you. For short, there, Lugarno point out a little light that starts flickering. And then we go back again to that soul and see if they are still all right. Our reminder here is to revisit the man roaming the banks of the Rietspruit, you see. As the crow flies, the old Bronkhorstspruit Road is about 4 kilometers from the Boskop Road on the far eastern side of Pretoria. If you are familiar with the area, you will know that the Mooiplaats dirt road can serve as a shortcut if you want to drive from Linwood towards the old Bronkhorstspruit Road. Somewhere on the Mooiplaats Road, there is a low-water bridge that takes you over the Rietspruit, a very small and insignificant stream of water. However, if the Rietspruit is in flood and overflows the bridge, you don't even attempt to drive over it. Many a car got swept away there. Instead, you rather turn around and take the 11-kilometer detour to get back to Linwood and then to the same spot on the other side of the river. At least once during every rainy season, it is such time, and the river overflows. Lugarno presses a button and we are suddenly on the banks of that stream. It takes us back to the year 2007, the day it happened in broad daylight in front of many witnesses. What a strange feeling to be back on earth again, standing between the people living in that area. It is clear that the possibility of the flood was already discussed since the previous afternoon over the two-way radios. Because of the rain, the water was rising. By 10 o'clock this morning, it happened. The water flooded the bridge and no one is able to drive through anymore. Tapping into the discussions of some of the people from the area, this is quite an extraordinary picture to see. A stream that is usually no wider than 2 meters at its widest suddenly pushes into the veld and hit this low bridge with such a force that it takes everything and anything on top of it with it. Then Ronelle arrives. She was apparently at a nearby shop on Linwood Road when she heard the message on the Burger Band radio and decided to drive past their turnoff to come and check out the river here. But now she looks extremely shaken when getting out of her car. She's telling the people around her, "Guys, you won't believe what just happened to me. I was nearly hit by a small red 318 box-style BMW on my way here. I don't know where that car came from, but when I saw it for the first time, it was right in front of me, almost head on. Luckily, I usually drive slowly on this road. At the very last moment, that red car swerved and stopped behind me. Then it reversed back with such force until his door was next to mine. I looked at the young man in there at the driver's seat and was about to give him a bit of my thoughts when I saw his bewildered eyes. It was red and bloodshot. Patches of skin from his face was broken and there was blood, as if he fell somewhere. "You can't go through there," the young man screamed to me at the top of his voice. "The river is coming down." The poor man was in a total state of shock and hysteria. I said to him, "Calm down. I won't do something irresponsible. I'm just going to watch the water. We stay close by." She points over her shoulder. "But where are you going?" "To the opposite bank. I wanted to go and say goodbye to him before he leaves for Amsterdam. So I've tried the water, but it ran too fast. Now I simply want to get back to our home." "Well, please don't speed on this road. You can easily lose control of your car, and you nearly hit me." But he did not even pause to greet before he shot off again. "You know what, guys? It was just a brief encounter, but it really was totally unsettling," Ronelle says. "Red BMW?" asks one of the spectators. "Yes, you know, one of that old box-like BMWs," she confirms. There were several people standing on the banks, but the police van was blocking her view to the other side of the river. And that makes Ronelle suddenly realize that the people are not just there to simply watch the churning waters. And now the silence that fall could be cut with a knife. Like in that one on the other side of the river, someone gestures around the police van from where the red BMW with the open doors now was visible, across on the other side of this thundering waters. Yes, like that one. But if it's that one, how did he manage to get there so fast? I saw him just a few seconds ago on this side. Impossible. He was there all the time. He never even reached this side, says the man, looking at Ronel very strangely. Well, we warned him about the river. Lena is the domestic worker who sometimes works for Ronel. But he wouldn't listen, ma'am. Yes, he insisted that he had to go and say goodbye to his boyfriend before that guy left for the airport to go to Amsterdam. But I saw him just now, Ronel insists. He nearly hit my car with that same BMW. We even spoke. Then he pulled away at such a tremendous speed. No, ma'am. Someone else gestures to where the car still stands. That car never left that spot. You know what happened? The driver also didn't make it to this side. He parked his car there, got out at the driver's door, and then started to walk into the stream. He probably only wanted to see how deep or strong the current was, but then he got swept away. He never even came up for air. There is his car still on the other side, and it never left that position. His body was found 3 days later, still in the river where he drowned. There was a picture of him on social media, and it was definitely the man who stopped next to me, Ronel declared without any doubt to people that asked. Ronel was the first one to see his spirit and his little red BMW on that day he drowned, Lugarno explained to me. But he's still here. He waves at the young man, and up comes a hand from the other side of the shore. He waves back. I was the one sent to come and fetch his soul on that fateful day, but he refused to follow me. Says his mother lives in the house just over there, and he can't leave her behind. Ever since then, I often follow up visits, but he claims he's still not ready to leave, and she is still residing there. It is almost 20 years later, but on every rainy day, the people from here sometimes see him standing there, just looking at the house back there, or peering into the rising water. But he is at peace, no longer in a hurry. Nothing rushes him anymore. But so why won't he come back with us now? I suppose maybe one day he will follow us when his mom also dies as well. So is his mom still living there? Yes, she is, indeed, says Lugarno.